Hello, fellow Christmas lovers and enthusiasts. My name is Charlie. I am from the Closer to Christmas podcast, and I'm here with a quick little video on the Coca-Cola Polar Rollers game, which I just reviewed for my last podcast that I put out. This is another game from Funko Games, and this one has to do with the Coca-Cola Polar Bears that come out with their Christmas commercials every year. I wanted to show you the contents of the box and just show you a little bit about how the gameplay is. So when you open up the box, inside of the box you have snowflake imagery there. You have your instruction card. Tells you how to play the game in here. Has all the parts, how to win the game. It comes with a mini dry erase board. You're going to use that to keep score. Then it comes with all of your point tiles. There's a red side and a blue side, so you have nighttime and daytime. Then it comes with a little dry erase marker. And finally, get them out of the bag here. Finally, it comes with the Coca-Cola Polar Bear dice themselves. So we're going to take them out of the bag. I'll show you what they look like a little bit, and then I'll show you how they roll. And then I'll tell you a little bit about how you play the game. So the Coca-Cola Polar Bears, they're little chunky wooden, you're going to call them dice, but they're not really dice, but they're little cutouts of the polar bears. They have the Coca-Cola logos on their scarf on that side, and they're pretty chunky. They're about, I'd say about a half-inch thick. And you're going to roll those and score points. So the way to play the game comes with your dry erase board. So however many players you have, you're going to write your initials or your names down on the top. And then you have all of your point tiles. Now on these point tiles, it'll show pictures of possibilities of how the dice can land. So this is a picture of them laying flat, one with the scarf up, one with the scarf down. And that's only worth 1 point. Then you have one that's upside down, kind of laying on its back. That's worth 5 points. And now the dark side, the nighttime side, is worth more points than the light side. I'll explain that in a minute. But here's another one upside down. So you have some that are the same images. This one's just both lying flat with their scarf side showing up. This one is standing up, just regular bear standing up. Then you have this one we were calling the nose diver because he's kind of laying on his nose. Another nose dive. Then you have two of them laying flat, scarf side down. All this is very important because that's the way you have to have them laying to score the points. Another right side up. Now this one we were calling the butt bomber. It's just kind of standing right side up, I guess, on his butt. You have two of those. And again, another flat lying one with the scarf side up. So the way you play the game is at the beginning of your turn, you're going to lay the tiles out, and they're all going to be red side up. So you're going to lay all the tiles out here. Probably should have done this beforehand, but lay all of your tiles right side up. And then at the beginning of your turn, you're going to pick one of the tiles to flip over, and that tile is going to be worth more points. So for example, at the start of the turn, if you wanted to pick the highest priced one here, or the highest amount one, which is 25, and you flip that over, now that one is worth 50. So you're going to take your dice, your bears, and you're going to roll them. So I have a box here. I'm going to bring it a little closer to the camera here just to show you. I found it easier to kind of bounce them because they'll land in different configurations, where if you roll them, they end up lying flat a lot. But on this one, we got a nose dive and a flat with scarf side down. So if we look through the cards here, I have this nose dive. This is worth 15 points, so I have him. And then the flat side, if I wanted to score that one as well, I can't because there isn't one for that. There's only the double. So I can only score 15 points on that. So that turn is worth 15 points. If I want to continue to go, I would just go again. I'll roll them again. And this one I have a upside down and a scarf side up. So if there's anything that matches that, we can take those. So we do have an upside down card, which is worth 5, and a scarf side up. We don't have any of those, only the ones that are standing up. So now I have a total of 20 points. If I want to keep going, I could. If not, I'll say my turn's over. If I didn't score on this one, it'll stay there. If I did score on it, it gets flipped back at the end of the turn. And then the next person's turn, they could flip a card over and they'll play their turn. And the way the game plays is the first to 100 points wins. If you score 100, everybody else gets to go one more turn. And then if you guys score a tie, it's a tiebreaker. There's no way to break a tie. It just says to play again. So again, first to 100. If I decide to keep going and then none of my configuration of the dice match what's out on the tile, I lose all of the points for that turn. So I would end up with a 0. So it's kind of a risk that you take if you want to keep going to try to get to 100 first. So every time you stop, you score your points. If there's no configuration you could do, you lose all the points for that round. And again, first to 100 wins. So now I'm going to take the time here to just bring this a little bit closer and show you some of the ways that they land when you roll them. Because there is some reviews that say they don't land properly. But again, I found a bounce works the best. So this one landed standing straight, and this one's a nosediver. And I'm going to roll a couple just like regular dice. We'll see how they land. See, again, we got a flat and a standing up one. And an upside down and a standing. So, yeah, again, roll them however you like. I prefer the bounce. Gives me a little bit of better chances. That's how I figured I'd play it. But, again, you could play it however you want. So, if you are interested in this, I would say pick it up. It's a fun, quick game. You could play, it says ages 13 and up, but I've played it with a younger crowd, so yeah. That's all I have to say about that. If you enjoy Coca-Cola and the Christmas polar bear stuff in general, I would pick this up. It's a must-have for me in your Coca-Cola collection. So if you're a fan of Coca-Cola and the Christmas polar bears in general, I would say that this is a definite pickup. When I picked it up, it was $6 or something. Sometimes you can find it online for $4 on Amazon. So I would say if you were a fan of Coca-Cola and the Coca-Cola polar bears in general, I would pick this up. It's a pretty neat, quick play game. It's compact. You could take it with you anywhere, even if you just ended up taking the polar bears with you and using them to roll around just for fun. I would say to pick it up. It was definitely worth it, and it will be a game that I do play again. So thank you for checking out this video, and the next time you hear my voice and listen to this podcast, we're all going to be a little bit closer to Christmas. Thank you for listening.